There are moments in human history when the sky stops being just a background. It becomes a message, not one spoken in words, but one felt in that quiet place behind the ribs where intuition forms before thought. The appearance of the three-eye atlas is one of those moments. Science describes it as an interstellar object, something that did not form here, that does not belong to our system, that does not share the familiar rhythm of our sky. It came from beyond, from outside the sun's domain, from a region of space we cannot name or map. A traveler, passing through. But this is not the first time something like this has happened. This is not the first time a wandering star has crossed the human sky. This is not the first time the heavens have spoken, and the heart quietly, without words, has listened. Ancient writings did not treat these appearances as random. They did not see them as mere astronomical events. They called them messengers, not angels, not mythic beings with wings, but messengers of transition. They appeared when consciousness was shifting, when an era was approaching its threshold, when humanity was preparing to remember something it had forgotten. The Book of Enoch, older than most religious systems, speaks of stars that leave their appointed paths, stars that do not obey the fixed order of the heavens. It calls them the wandering stars, visitors, exactly like the three-eye atlas. The Book of Revelation also describes a burning star crossing the sky like a torch. When we place these images alongside what is happening now, something becomes clear. The ancients were not inventing metaphors. They were describing what they saw, using the language available to them. Today, science says, it is just an object passing by, and that is true. But the deeper human, the one who feels rather than analyzes, asks a different question. Why now? Why this moment in history? Why during a period of identity collapse, spiritual hunger, and silent inner awakening? The sky does not send answers. The sky reminds. The three-eye atlas did not come to announce destruction. It did not come to inspire fear. It came to awaken memory, a memory older than religion, older than culture, older than language, a memory of who we are, before the forgetting. So if something stirred in you, while hearing these words, even if you cannot explain it, that is not imagination, that is recognition. Long before religion became institution, before texts were edited, approved, restricted, or forbidden, there was something older, a direct knowledge. Humans did not look at the sky to measure it. They looked at the sky to read it. Because for the ancient world, the sky was not a map. It was a mirror. And no ancient text preserves this understanding more clearly than the Book of Enoch. This book was not excluded from the Bible because it was irrelevant. It was excluded because it was dangerous. Not dangerous to truth, but dangerous to control. It taught that the sacred was not something mediated by priests or temples. It was something felt directly in the human heart. And it described what modern astronomy only recently confirmed. There are bodies in the heavens that do not belong to our system. They are not planets. They are not stars fixed in constellations. They do not follow the rhythms we know. They wander. Enoch called them the stars that leave their course, visitors from elsewhere, just like the three-eye atlas. But Enoch went further. He said these wandering stars appear when humanity is approaching a shift of consciousness, not a change in politics, not a technological revolution, not a new empire, a change within, a turning of awareness, a remembering of something forgotten, a return to something original. And that is exactly what so many people feel today, a quiet restlessness, a subtle detachment from the old version of themselves, a longing that does not point to any place or person, a sense that something inside is moving, but without words to explain it. This is not confusion. This is awakening, and the sky reflects that awakening. The three-eye atlas is not here to cause the shift. It is here to confirm it. Humanity is already changing, not loudly, not collectively, not through institutions, but one heart at a time, like a tide rising from within. When wandering stars appear, they are not signs of what is coming. They are signs of what has already begun. And if you feel something in you resonating, even softly, even faintly, you are not imagining it. You are remembering, not with the mind, with the part of you that has never slept. The sky does not speak in sentences. It does not argue. It does not persuade. The sky communicates through movement, through rhythms, disruptions, arrivals, and departures. Ancient civilizations understood this. They did not watch the heavens to predict weather or chart power, they watched to listen. Because the sky was not separate from human life. What moved above was connected to what moved within. But somewhere in time, humanity began to look outward instead of inward. We learned how to calculate the position of planets, how to measure the velocity of comets, how to name distant galaxies, and in the process, we forgot how to read meaning. Today, science describes the three-eye atlas in precise language, an interstellar object in a hyperbolic trajectory, and that is correct. But the heart asks a different question. Why now? Why during a time when the human spirit feels stretched thin? Why during a global identity crisis? Why in an era of quiet internal upheaval? We are living in a moment where many feel a life that no longer fits, a self that feels unfinished, a longing with no clear source, a question forming before the words to express it. This is not collapse. This is transition. The ancient world called this the crossing between worlds, the threshold where an old way of knowing dissolves and a new way begins to emerge, and the sky reflects that threshold. The three-eye atlas is not a warning, not a prophecy, not a sign of disaster. It is a mirror, a reflection of the shift taking place inside human consciousness. It does not tell us what to do. It does not provide answers. It provides a moment of recognition, a quiet invitation. Look again, not outward, but inward. Because the shift humanity is entering is not about the external world. It is about the reorientation of awareness, the remembrance of something original, something ancient, something that was never lost, only forgotten. When the sky shifts, it does not change the world around you. It changes the one who is watching. And if you feel something stirring, lightly, quietly, unmistakably, you are not being called to understand. You are being called to remember. Ancient cultures did not see time as a straight line. They did not imagine history moving forward like a road. They saw time as cycles. Ages did not end because of destruction. They ended because consciousness shifted. When the world outside no longer matched the world within, a new age began, quietly, subtly, invisibly at first. And every shift of age was marked by something in the sky, not to warn, not to frighten, but to signal, the inner world is changing. The three-eye atlas aligns perfectly with this ancient pattern. It is not part of our solar rhythm. It does not move with the planets. It does not belong to the repeating architecture of the night sky. It is a visitor. Civilizations once called such travelers the herald star, the passing light, the one who crosses, not because they saw them as gods, but because they recognized what they reflected. The moment when an old identity dissolves and a new awareness takes form. Look around. So many people today feel a subtle detachment from what once defined them, a hunger for meaning that logic cannot answer, a sense of standing on the edge of something unnamed, a quiet pull toward depth, silence, and authenticity. This is not collapse. This is preparation. When the skin becomes too small, the soul begins to breathe differently. Humanity is not falling apart. Humanity is shedding. The outdated identities, the borrowed beliefs, the inherited fears are loosening, not all at once, not loudly, not collectively, but internally, with a quiet inevitability. The three-eye atlas is not here to make this happen. It is here as a reflection of it already happening. The sky does not command awakening. It accompanies it. It stands beside you. In the exact moment you begin to see yourself, not as a role, not as a history, not as a name, but as awareness itself. The shift is not ahead. The shift is now, not out there. In here. History does not repeat itself in the same form, but it echoes. Every major turning point in human consciousness has been accompanied by a star, a light that did not belong to the ordinary order of the sky, something that appeared, crossed, pointed, and then moved on. The Christian tradition remembers the Star of Bethlehem, a star that did not behave like a normal star, one that did not follow the fixed paths of the constellations, one that guided those who were capable of recognizing it. And notice something important. It did not guide everyone, not the priests, not the rulers, not the institutions. It guided the ones who were already listening inside, because only those who are already awake can recognize an invitation to wake further. And now, Again, a wandering star crosses our sky, not to repeat the past, but to mirror the same inner moment in human consciousness. The birth the Star of Bethlehem pointed to was not just the birth of a man. It pointed to the birth of a new way of seeing, a new awareness of the sacred, a new relationship between the human and the divine. And that kind of birth does not happen in public squares or in temples or in official history. It happens inside a human being when they realize they are more than the identity they inherited. A quiet rebirth, a returning to themselves, not as someone new, but as someone remembered. The three-eye atlas is not guiding us to a location. It is guiding us to an inner recognition. We are not waiting for a new savior. We are not waiting for a prophecy to fulfill itself. We are not waiting for the end or the beginning of anything. We are witnessing the return of perception, the ability to see with the heart instead of the conditioned mind. This is why so many feel, I don't fit who I used to be. I feel something shifting in me, but I don't know what it is. I feel close to something I cannot name. That is not confusion. That is a new birth, the same kind of birth the ancients recognized. When a wandering star crossed the sky, the birth of a deeper awareness of the sacred inside the human. If the Star of Bethlehem once pointed outward, the three-eye atlas points inward, not toward a Messiah outside you, but toward the part of you that remembers the light. Every awakening comes with a shadow, not because awakening is dark, but because awakening asks us to let go of who we believed we were. Human beings are not afraid of the unknown. We are afraid of the moment in between, the space where the old self dissolves, and the new self has not yet taken shape. That space is awakening. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is not a grand revelation. It is subtle. It begins as a shift in the way you see, a quiet change in the tone of your thoughts, a soft awareness that the life you've been living no longer fully matches who you are inside. And this is where fear appears. Not fear of the new, but fear of losing the familiar. It is easier to say, it's just an astronomical object. It doesn't mean anything. It's nothing to think about. Not because we are convinced, but because we need the sky to be meaningless if we want to avoid the silence inside. Because if the three-eye atlas means something, then the stirring in your chest means something. And that is the one thing the mind is not prepared to face. Inner truth. The three-eye atlas does not shout. It does not insist. It does not call attention to itself. It passes quietly. Silence is the language of awakening. The sky does not demand belief. It does not punish doubt. It does not try to persuade. The sky waits. It waits for the moment. You stop trying to interpret and start simply feeling. Awakening is not about learning something new. Awakening is about remembering something ancient, something that has always been here. The quiet awareness behind your thoughts. The presence that watches your life unfold. The part of you that does not panic, does not rush, does not fear. That part is waking. And if you feel a strange calm behind your confusion, a soft light behind your uncertainty, a quiet space behind your thoughts, you are already crossing. The awakening has begun. Not because the sky told you something, but because you recognized yourself in the sky. There is a moment in every transformation when we are no longer who we used to be, but not yet who we are becoming. This moment is the threshold. It is delicate, unstable, uncertain. Not because something is wrong, but because identity is shifting. You may feel, the old roles no longer fit, the old explanations no longer satisfy, the old emotional patterns no longer make sense. But the new self has not yet taken shape. It is like standing between two breaths, between night and dawn, between remembering and returning. This space is uncomfortable because the mind cannot control it. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing solid, nothing defined, but something is happening. A deeper awareness is rising, not in the form of beliefs, not as a new philosophy, not as an idea to replace old ones. It rises as presence, as the quiet realization that I am not my history. I am not my conditioning. I am not the identity I learned to perform. There is something in you that is older than your story, something that has been watching your life from behind your eyes since the beginning, and it is that part that recognizes the three-eye atlas, not the mind, not the personality, not the role, the awareness behind them. The threshold is not crossed by effort. It is not crossed by understanding. It is not crossed by trying to become something. It is crossed by letting yourself be, without rushing to define what you are becoming. The threshold asks one thing: stay. Stay in the space where the old falls away, and the new has not yet formed. Stay with the silence. Stay with the uncertainty. Stay with the feeling you cannot name. Do not run back to what is familiar. Do not force yourself into something new. Just stay, because the threshold is not the end. It is the opening. The opening to the part of you that does not come and go, does not change with time, does not depend on identity. The part that simply is. The 3i Atlas does not tell you what to believe. It does not force meaning. It does not demand interpretation. It stands in the sky, as you stand in yourself, quiet, vast, unexplainable, a mirror. And when you recognize yourself in it, the threshold is already behind you. Now we can finally say it. The 3i Atlas is not a sign pointing outward. It is a sign pointing inward. It did not appear to announce something that is coming. It appeared to reflect something that has already begun. Inside you, inside many, quietly. This is not about prophecy, not about prediction, not about fear. This is about memory, a memory older than religion, older than culture, older than language, older than history, a memory of what it feels like to be awake inside your own life. That memory is rising now, in the subtle ways, a calm that appears for no reason, a soft awareness that the world feels different, a sense that something is opening inside even if you can't describe it, a deep exhale you didn't know you were holding. This is not imagination. This is recognition. The 3i Atlas does not ask you to believe anything. It does not ask you to follow anything. It does not ask you to change anything. It simply passes, and in that passing it reveals there is a part of you that has never been lost, never been damaged, never been separate. A part of you that has always been present, aware, silent, infinite. The same presence that guided ancient watchers of the sky. The same presence that followed the star of Bethlehem. The same presence that now recognizes the wandering star crossing our time. The awakening is not something you must achieve. The awakening is what remains when you stop pretending to be less than what you are. You are not watching the universe. The universe is watching itself through you. The sky is not speaking to you. The sky is remembering itself in you. You are not waiting for the moment. You are the moment. The return has already begun, not in the heavens, but in the heart.